Right, hello! Happy 2023. In my most recent video, the opening of my Christmas stocking, I noted that these wagons, and there was another one, had their weights loose, which you can hear. If I hold the coupling hook, which is the only other loose part of metal on here, and give it a bit of a shake, you can hear it's got its weight loose. Now, there's one that I've already taken apart, and it's made up of 3 parts. The chassis, which looks like that. The body, which looks like that. And this weight, which just sits here in amongst these 3 points. You can just see some residual glue on each end where that would have been held in place with. So, I'm going to show you how to reattach that magnet. First off is getting into the wagon. Now, if you look at this body here, you should notice that 2 of the hooks, the ones under the S on this one, are sort of quite long and pointed. And these ones are quite flat. Right, so it's these ones, these pointed ones, that you want to manoeuvre out of place. So we'll just check, because not necessarily potentially be on the same side, but if you have a look on the underneath, you can just about see that those look more triangular, and those look a bit more sort of rounded. So what you want to do is get an implement. This is a flathead screwdriver I've got here. Just position these clips. Just gently spring them back. There we go, and that's opened up there enough so that the screwdriver will go in it. Because what I'm sort of doing is, as I'm doing that, I'm sort of pushing these 2 apart. And if we do the same on the other side, you've got to be very careful not to break the clips, which is highly, or can be quite likely on these older wagons. Now, this will work pretty much the same on any Hornby wagon of the period. Say these are sort of 80s, 90s wagons. But any sort of thing will be similar to this. Now, it's lifted off entirely on one side. And then what you want to do, where those clips are sort of looking like that, there, is you want to shunt the body that way. There we go. Sort of this way, and off it comes, and yep, there we go, magnet's loose in there as well. And you can just see a bit of residual glue. Now, to reattach them, you want to get some glue. I would always prefer this cheap Boss stick that you can get in places like Tesco's, as opposed to super glue, as super glue can leave some clouding. Although I suppose used sparingly and on something of this age and relatively low value, it doesn't really matter. But only need a tiny bit, a little dollop. Obviously you want to make sure you don't get it anywhere near like the wheels. I'll put a little one on that side as well. This magnet really can only go in one place because it sits in between all these dots. It's probably a bit much actually. You can see it sort of come out around here, but it shouldn't really matter as long as, say, it doesn't get in the way of anything that moves. Maybe do a little bit less on this one. That looks a bit more of an appropriate amount. You just sort of see 2 little sort of dollops of glue. I don't think this really matters what way up this goes, but looking at the one, it should have been in this way to begin with. And that's in there as well. Now, I'm not going to reattach these bodies straight away. Just have a quick check. Did any of those clips break? These ones don't appear to have done. That one's got a bit of gouging to it, unfortunately, but hasn't broken. And that one was with that one. That was with that one. Sucker for keeping everything sort of as it came. So what I'll do is I'll wait for those to dry. Putting the body on is sort of the reverse of taking them off. Maybe, I don't know, this is sort of stick in place, so maybe I'll put it back on. So these 2, the boxier ones, just sort of put it in and push it up. Or in this case, up. There you go. And then just push down on that end. All sealed together. You can hear that it's, obviously the glue hasn't set yet, but it's obviously sticking a bit. And it's not clicking as much. But once that's dried, that'll be solid. And I suppose I might as well do the other one. So body on, the blunt end. Being a bit trickier. I think it's the same on both sides. It is, yeah, the same on both sides. It shouldn't make a difference. Yeah, that's clicked into place and pushed up, and then There we go, that one as well. Much quieter. Magnets, weights, sorry, stuck back in place. Same thing will work for any sort of Hornby box wagon, anything of the same period, but that's how to reattach weights. If your rolling stock is making a clicking noise and you can feel a weird sort of shunting around as you move it, then almost certainly the weights are loose, and worth doing this for the sake of 5 minutes. It does make it all a bit, make it feel a bit better in the hand, and probably doesn't really improve anything other than that, but oh well, it's nice to have everything back sort of kind of as it should be. Cheers!